Merry Christmas, everyone! Yet again, it's that time of the year, or more specifically, the day of the year, that culminates all our gift givings through the month, all onto one single day. Welcome back to Topisphere, and I hope that y'all had a wonderful Advent this year. And to those who don't celebrate it, I hope that you had a wonderful holiday season. With that being said, have any of you ever wondered where Christmas originated from? Well, for starters, the name Christmas is a shortened form of Christ's Mass, with Christ referring to Jesus Christ and Mass referring to the celebration of the Eucharist, mainly by the Catholic or Orthodox Church. On that note, that's just how Christmas got its name, but there's still so many other traditions that we tend to associate with it, like the Christmas trees and giving gifts. So today, we'll dive into some of them and figure out where all these traditions actually came from. For starters, Christmas is an annual celebration commemorating the birth of Jesus Christ, usually observed on 25th December. It is most definitely a religious celebration, but also a deeply cultural one, with most countries and even people who aren't Christians partaking in this celebration too. But did you know that Jesus was probably not born on 25th December? In fact, the exact date is not known, just that he was probably born somewhere between the 6th and 4th BC. With that being said, the reason the date ended up being 25th December specifically is actually twofold. Firstly, it was the date of the winter solstice in the Roman Empire, basically when the poles on the earth are furthest away from the sun. The second reason is that it is exactly 9 months after the Annunciation, which happens on 25th March. And for those who don't know, the Annunciation is when Angel Gabriel informs Mary of her child, Jesus. So now, with the name and date of Christmas out of the way, let's get into some actual traditions, like the Great Christmas Tree. There are actually a few origin stories of the Christmas tree, one of its earliest tales being Saint Boniface in the 8th century using a fir tree as a symbol for Jesus to convert the pagans. In the more modern era, it is believed that the tree came from Central Europe and the Baltic states during the early Renaissance. In fact, there are records of German Lutherans in the 16th century placing a Christmas tree in their churches. On the topic of Lutherans though, Martin Luther himself was said to have been one of the first people recorded to add lighted candles to an evergreen tree after wanting to recreate the scene of evergreens silhouetting against the starry sky, which is a predecessor of our modern day tradition of hanging lights and decorations on our trees. But no tree is complete without a star right on top, and well, that star is usually placed there to represent the Star of Bethlehem, aka the star that guided the three wise men to the barn where Jesus was born. Overall, with the tree, lights, decorations, and star to top it all off, the Christmas tree is one of the most iconic and prominent traditions, which stands out every time it's nearing the celebration season, bringing that same Christmas joy with it at the same time every year. Next up, we have another iconic tradition, Christmas caroling. The first known Christmas hymns may actually be traced back to the 4th century in Rome. From there, they were further developed and sung up till the 13th century, until the influence of St. Francis of Assisi developing a strong tradition of popular Christmas songs sung in regional native languages. The first known English carols were said to have been written by John Audley in 1426, who listed 25 carols which were sung from house to house. Following that, carols started gaining popularity after the Reformation as the Lutheran Church welcomed music during and even outside their worship, with Martin Luther himself writing carols too. Then, in the 19th century, Christmas music books began publication, popularizing songs like God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen and The First Noel. From then on, various composers started composing more songs and at the same time repopularizing older ones. And from there, caroling and its popularity started booming. Today, carols are still relatively popular, whether it be in church or out in public. While there are songs which are used in church celebrations that are religious in nature, nowadays, there are many carol songs which do not have any religious meanings or affects, but they are still carols. Overall, this tradition is beautiful and also quite fun. I'm sure we all know a few Christmas songs whether or not we actually celebrate Christmas, and honestly, going out during the Christmas season while carols are being sung or played really adds to the Christmas spirit and mood. And personally, I love listening to them, especially during this season. Next up, we have another popular tradition that I'm sure all of us have done at some point, gift giving. As I'm sure all of us know, we all love to give gifts and presents during Christmas. Based on Christian tradition, this is a symbolic action of the presentation of gifts to Jesus by the wise men. Historically speaking though, giving gifts during Christmas goes all the way back to ancient Rome, where they were believed to be giving gifts during the Saturnalia holiday during the winter solstice. After the date of December 25th was established to celebrate Jesus' birth though, that was when the idea of actually giving gifts during Christmas came to be. Alongside the story of the wise men, the real-life Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas, pushed this idea of giving gifts during Christmas, and over time, it slowly became part of Christmas culture. Also, a side note on Saint Nicholas, the origin story of Santa Claus was actually based off of him. He was well known to have given his wealth and gold away to the poor, as well as give secret gifts to children. Essentially, real-life Santa Claus. All in all, gift giving is yet another iconic tradition. Love it or hate it, I think we can all agree, at least when you're on the receiving end, it does feel pretty good. Anyways, hope y'all got great gifts this Christmas, whatever that may be. Last but not least, we have Christmas stockings. Hanging an empty sock or sock-shaped bag on Christmas Eve is a tradition that is typically done for Santa Claus or Father Christmas to leave small gifts when he arrives. This tradition actually came, yet again, from Saint Nicholas. Legend has it that there was a man who wanted to sell 3 of his daughters to save their family from starvation. Saint Nicholas wanted to help them, but he knew that they would not accept his charity, so he decided to help them in secret. At night, he threw 3 bags of gold through an open window into their house, with one landing in a stocking. This saved the family and the girls from their tragic fate. Some retellings also claim that all 3 bags landed in a stocking. Either way, this led to the custom of children hanging stockings or putting out shoes, eagerly waiting for gifts from St. Nicholas. Nowadays, even though St. Nicholas or Santa Claus probably won't perform a home invasion to give gifts, it's still a tradition which some families keep, and personally for me, I think it looks pretty nice. With all that being said, I just want to wish everyone once again a Merry and Blessed Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hope y'all get to enjoy your time with your families and relish the remainder of the holiday season. As they say, may your days be merry and bright. Merry Christmas, everyone.